James George here, and this week I'm going to talk about perspective in Adobe Illustrator. So this week I'm going to show you some cool tricks for using the perspective grid and perspective selection tool. So let's get started. I'm going to start by drawing out some shapes. Just some squares. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to just hit Command D to duplicate, and it'll be about the same space. Now what you can do is actually going to paste these as well. So let's just say you have two sets here. If you go over here, you have your perspective grid tool and you have your perspective selection tool. What you're going to want to do is grab the perspective grid tool, and you see this grid that comes up. What's really cool about this is you can control different aspects of your grid. So if you're creating a digital illustration, let's say it's a building that has multiple windows, trying to draw this and get the right perspective, just doing this by eye is not going to look that good. But what's really cool is you can use let's say for example, let's select these first four objects. And this little cube right here is what's important. This tells you the perspective that it's going to go in. So each one of these sides corresponds to a face here. So that would be this side. If you chose this one, it would be this side. If you chose this, it would be this space. So with those selected, I'm going to grab the perspective selection tool. And then when you notice when I click and drag that, they automatically snap to that perspective, which is pretty darn cool. So let's say that you wanted them to fit in that perspective, and then you needed it to fit the building stop there. There it is. They fit that perspective already. So then you would select these. And let's say you wanted these to fit in on this side. Oops. Make sure you have them selected. And before you click and drag, you want to make sure you choose the opposite side. Now when you click and drag, see, they automatically snap to that perspective. So you can snap that into place and then drag that to meet the edges. And everything is perfectly aligned. And like I said, you can use these little handles to drag things around to get just the right perspective that you need for your perspective illustration. Not to get too crazy with the puns, but it really puts things into perspective. Okay, anyway, so a lot of people struggle with this part, and that is once they're done with the grid, they go and they hit the selection tool, and they're like, I can't get rid of this. How do I get rid of the grid? Well, you make sure that you still have the perspective selection tool selected as your tool. Then you go up and click the little X that says hide grid, and you can get back to your illustration as a whole, and you're done. That's it. So if you like that tip, there's more that you can do with perspective, but I think that covers it. I encourage you to play around with that feature, and it's really cool for like cityscapes and if you're doing interior rooms and different things like that, because you can really get things lined up without all the hassle. So if you liked the video, please like it and share it, and help me spread the word. Also, you can visit my site, creativebeacon.com, and see other tutorial videos. I got lots of freebies on there. You can join my membership. There's all kinds of stuff you can do on creativebeacon.com, so I encourage you to go check it out. That's it for this week. Thanks. I'll see you next week.